Hey guys, it is the Gaming Ronin, and I am finally here with my update to Fury for the 7.2 update. And unfortunately, Fury got heavily nerfed. Ironically, it wasn't very much that they did, but for what they did, we're seeing about a 2 to 3,000 DPS loss. What once was a 33k parse is now a 30k parse, maybe a 31k parse, but it's definitely not what it was. So what you're seeing right here, right there, is the rotation that I'm currently using, and you should be seeing it right up there. Um, on your screens right now. That is what I'm doing. If I am using Fury, which I'm not really using Fury right now. Honestly, Carnage and Annihilation are just simply better. Fury is still okay. If it's really what you want to use, absolutely use it. I just wouldn't. But if it is what you want to use, we are going to be going over what the changes you're going to want to make. And how you're gonna show you how you're gonna want to kind of play it. I'm still not sure on recovery time, like if you have to peel off, go deal with mechanics, and then come back, restart combat. I'm still not 100% sure where you want to restart with this rotation, partly because I'm just not using Fury. Annihilation is still really solid. It's annoying to use just because it has RNG resources, unlike Carnage and Fury get, but it's still way better, and it's just doing really well. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Right, so the first thing I do want to point out is we are no longer going to be using Fury's Rumination. It used to include an auto crit for when you activated Berserk. They actually moved that up to here to gravity manipulation briefly when they were doing the PTS. And then they saw that Fury was just doing insanely well still, and they took away the auto crit completely. And that auto crit was honestly doing most of the heavy lifting. It really was doing about 2 to 3k extra to your parse. And it was just making everything really solid. So we are actually dropping Furious Rumination, and we're gonna go back to criticality. When 7.0 first came out, that was what everyone gravitated to. It had a different effect. I forget what. It's been quite a while now. But criticality was insane originally, and now we're gonna go back to it because it does give us a critical hit chance of 25% during Berserk. So the entire time that you have Berserk active, you get 25% extra critical hit chance. That's on top of Dark Synergy. Dark Synergy, when after you use Raging Burst or Smash, gives you a 15% to your critical hit chance and your critical hit damage. So when you combine Dark Synergy with the 15% that you get from it and the 25% that you get from criticality when you activate Berserk, you get a 40% critical hit chance for the entire duration of Berserk, which is quite a while. That is what we're going to want to be choosing. And then, of course, we still want to be using Furious Discovery. We need the extra 4 Fury from Obliterate. Don't use Seething Defense or Obliteration. And then the only choice you should be taking is going to be Gravity Vortex. Don't take an Inexorable or Interloper. And then I would still take Thirst for Rage. It's healing. You do a lot of melee attacks, so it's like 4k. You're just gonna heal a lot, but it's 4k to every time you use a melee attack. So it's not much, but it's something, and it's not bad. And then you can either use Cloak of Retribution or Blood Ward. It really doesn't matter too much. And then depending on the fight, either Undying Rage or Mad Dash. Don't take Force Choke. Anyway, so that's going to be it for the ability tree. Going over to the gear. So we're still using Fearless Victor, and we're still using Berserker's Call. We haven't gotten any new implants at all. So we're still just rocking these two. That's what you're going to want to be using. And then relics, I kind of like using Focus Threat and Devastating Vengeance for Fury. But the guy that currently has the highest parse is using Serendipitous Assault and Focus Threat. So take that as you will. I'm just behind him, and this is what I was using. Your mileage is gonna vary pretty much every time you do parse, every time you do test things out, and that's because we are very beholden to critically hitting. And when you just get a long wave of just of just not hitting your crits, uh, it's your parse is gonna drop. But this parse or this rotation is gonna do quite a bit for you. Okay. It's honestly the best rotation that I've tried so far in 7.2. I really like it. I don't know who came up with it. I don't know if the guy who has the highest parse right now came up with it or if he got from someone else. There was a workshop or whatever. But this is definitely the best rotation. So let's quickly go over it. Then we'll do a parse to just kind of give you an idea of what you want. I also need to put 2 augments in real quick. So let me take care of that, and then we'll go over the rotation. It's pretty simple. It's basically going to be a 1 through 12 for the most part. Um, but let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over, and I always go over it, and I always recommend getting it, is going to be hidden power. This is very, very, very useful, especially when we can't use bloodthirst to start off with, because because of our utility, thirst for rage. When you activate bloodthirst, you build 12 rage instantaneously. And if you use hidden power and then activate force camo, and then activate your Carteret Coronary because these are your tacticals, and yes, you can hotkey them. Press that. If I press hidden power, boom, it's on my thing. And then if I press Carteret Coronary, it's on there, and you can hotkey them. I have them on Shift 4 and Shift 5, and I can just real easily swap in between them. It's very useful. So you do hidden power, force camo, and Carteret Coronary. And that will build you 12 rage as well. For the you'll build rage for as long as you're in camo. Very useful. So that's always one thing you want to do before a fight. I always do it when a ready check goes out. It's pretty useful. But our pre-battle kind of little opener. If you can't use bloodthirst, what you're gonna want to do, and we're gonna build our rage real quick. But what you're gonna want to do, let's let's say, your hidden power or whatever, you still can't use it, but you're pulling, you can actually start off doing a berserk and then a frenzy, and that will just build you all of that, and then you'll build enough rage just from doing the leap. So you'll be pretty solid for rage. And that's just to open up, and then of course you can do hidden power to get rage if things work out, and then you can activate bloodthirst if you're able to if your group is fine with you activating bloodthirst to start off with. Then pop the frenzy to get so that way your berserk is ready to go. So I'm gonna let this frenzy reset, and then we'll go over the rotation because there is one thing that we do need to address in how you're gonna want to do things, because on there I didn't show where you're gonna pop berserk, and it's very similar to what we did before. This is extremely similar to the previous rotation. Most everything is still in the same slots. We just rearranged some things. So one of the first things that I want to point out that's going to be a little bit different. Everything you see here, besides Berserk and Vicious Throw, are in rotation order. This entire thing, this entire bar is in rotation order. You're going to go 1, 2. That's where you pop Berserk, is after Raging Burst. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the last rotation, you were kind of popping Force Scream whenever it was active, and it was in place of a Vicious Slash. Now we're just popping Force Scream as number 6 every single time, and this is where you're going to want to do it. Okay. Not only that, we are now also using Battering Assault because we're not using Furious Rumination. We're not passively building Rage, so we do need a Rage builder in there, and we just use it at the end. Right. So going over it, we're gonna start off. You'll either leap in, but for right now, we'll kind of leave Force Charge alone. We're either gonna start off doing a Berserk, Frenzy, Bloodthirst. If you did Hidden Power, you don't need to do that at all. This is just ways for us to build instantaneous rage. So we'll have plenty of rage for us to utilize to start off with. So we're gonna use Force Crush first, then Raging Burst, then we're gonna use Berserk. Okay, and then we're gonna come back to Furious Strike, activate that, get our dot on from our Carterized Coronary, then Obliterate, then Ravage, which Ravage is going to build us our first little bit of Fury, which is pretty nice. And then because we use Obliterate before Force Scream, even if you don't leap in, Force Scream is going to be procced, so it should hopefully hit for anywhere from a 29k to 45-ish k hit. If it crits. Otherwise, it'll be a pretty decent, like 17k to 23k hit. Then Vicious Slash. Then we're coming back in with Raging Burst, which is going to be free from our passive abilities that just make Raging Burst free after we use Obliterate or Force Crush. Then Furious Strike, then another Obliterate, so that way our next Raging Burst is free. Even though we do have Force Crush, and not only that, it also procs up Force Scream and Raging Burst as well. Smash 2. Then Vicious Throw and Battering Assault. Okay, and if you are in an AoE situation, you want to, if you know you're going to be in an AoE situation, just replace your Raging Bursts and your Vicious Slashes with Smash and Sweeping Slash. That's all you got to do to make this an AoE rotation. That's it. You just got to swap those around. You can do the little scroll thing here, but you don't need to. But that's, if you want to do that, you can set that up. Otherwise, you can just swap the abilities around. Or if you have them hotkeyed, you just train yourself to be able to swap off to them. But that really is it. It's not all that different. I'm getting anywhere from a mid 30k to a mid 31k. It really depends on whether or not I critically hit, and how much I critically hit. We are just unfortunately very much beholden to that RNG crit, and it really does suck. We don't have too much guaranteed on our hits for every time I activate Furious Strike. I don't have anything that's guaranteed on what it's gonna be. It could be a 27k, it could be a 60k hit. It's just very varied. And just a fast stat breakdown. This is my alacrity percentage. I'm not going to give you my personal numbers because, again, most of you aren't going to be able to match them. So this is a percentage. Always do accuracy first, get to 110%, then get your alacrity. You don't need to be 7.68. I would say be between like 7.25 and 7.60. Somewhere in that range, you'll be absolutely fine. And then just put everything else into critical. right, there we go. Got a little galactic season point. I forget if you beat on the dummy enough, you actually do progress your galactic season. I unfortunately it was a 30.7. I think had my vicious throw procced more than once, it would have been a 31k parse somewhere. But it just didn't want to. It just didn't want to crit, which was really unfortunate. Would have been nice to have gotten, but oh wow, we did hold pretty well. We were 32k for a little bit, and then we just kind of sailed through 31k, and then dropped off a little bit. Still a high 30k, a little closer to mid 30k, but that's okay. We were all right. So like I said, this is honestly the best rotation that I've tried in 7.2 so far. I've tried I was trying out the 6.0 rotation, but honestly, it's just not hitting like I want it to. And so I don't really recommend it at all. I wish I could. I was planning on, doing like here's, like a variant on the 7.0 rotation, and then you can also use the 6.0 rotation, but it's just not getting the numbers that I want it. It's been in the high 28s, kind of mid 29Ks. Uh, and I want to give you guys the best options available. And honestly, this rotation here is the best option available. So definitely make use of it. Um, it's gonna take you far if you do want to use Fury. Of course, remember to use your Berserk after you use Raging Burst. You only have 12 buttons per row, so do put Berserk on a hotkey. I do recommend that. Not only that, do go out, get a 12 key mouse. It can be from any company. I personally use the Razer Naga from Razer, which that's not sponsored. It's just been my preference, my choice, because pretty easy to find. And not only that, it has different setups, different amounts of buttons that you can swap in and out, which I really like. But I do prefer the 12 keys because it gives me this amount of hotkeys that I can use of. So, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. If you want to catch me live, I am live every Monday and Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard. And then I go live as well every Tuesday and Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. I just joined a team recently. They've been having a bit of a roster prog, so I'm hopping in with them. Um, so you kind of want to watch me do Lady Dominique Prague. One of my team, my other morning team, which will be back on Thursday, January 5th, 2023. That's when that will continue once more. If you want to see us, get Lady Dominique on farm, because we actually just downed her a week or two ago. We've been on break for the holidays. Definitely come in and check it out. We'll also be moving on to Legacy Nim as well, going for clears as a team. All of the operations on Nim, which I'm very excited about. I'm kind of ready to be done with R4. There's only a few things left I got to do in it, and then I don't want to touch it for a very, very long time. Even though I do kind of enjoy fighting some of the bosses, I just been in it for a super long time. And then do check out my schedule for other games that I do play. I'm starting to play some single player games. So if you want to catch me playing those, you're more than welcome to come and check it out. Have fun. Lots of little commands you can activate to annoy me at your heart's desire. Currently going through Kingdom Hearts, and we're going to be starting Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. I'm excited for that. So, yeah. Once again, guys, thank you for checking out the guide. Hopefully, everything goes well in your endeavors to use Fury. I definitely think this is the best way to use it right now, because it really does hurt to use. Also for PvP, I don't suggest using it. Do play Carnage if you're going to go play PvP. Annihilation is okay, but Fury definitely feels bad. It's sad. It really is sad. Until next time, guys, take care. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, whatever it is for you, and I'll see you in the galaxy far